Okay, welcome. This is hopefully a quick overview of using vellum, like the paper, in 2023 for self-publishing your books. And I'm doing this mainly for myself, but others could benefit, I think, from this. The initial part here, which I think is about 3 minutes long, maybe shorter, is just a quick overview of the process itself. If you have an Apple computer, like a MacBook, and you want to publish a book on Kindle or draft to digital or somewhere that takes EPUBs and EPUBs for ebooks and PDFs for paperback and hardcover books. So here we go. That's the first page. You see old style books and kind of a tablet reader. That's the state of things in 2023. So let's go forward here. And you, as an author or writer or wannabe, have been struggling with your writing, so much so you've taken on a zombie-like insomniac appearance. But anyway, the fruit of that effort is you came up with somehow either Google Docs or Word, the Microsoft program itself, a end result of a .docx file. And now you wonder, what do I do with this? Here's the next step. You're going to import that into a program that you can get for free up to a point, forever, and start your formatting, which if you're just doing an EPUB, like a Kindle book, an ebook, you're kind of done. But if you're going to do a paperback or hardcover book, you got a little bit more work to do, but not a lot. And that import is going into something called vellum. And I will leave links to it so you can go try it out. Like I say, it is free. But what will come up later in a little demo I'll do is you're going to import your Word file. That's what it calls. That's what everybody calls, I guess, a .docx file. And you're going to do some styling. You'll see that later. You can choose from a bunch of built-in styles or create your own if you've got that much time available. And after you're done with all that and you're kind of satisfied, you're going to save it and pay attention to where the .vellum file goes. And the important bit about that is you don't want to have to do it over again, and it's good to know where it is, because the next step, which is the important part, is you're going to use that inside of vellum, and you're going to click a button that it has called Generate. And depending on what you selected, it's going to generate a bunch of EPUB files for different platforms like, Kindle, Kobo, Google Play. I mean, it's going to do a bunch of stuff. I'm not sure about Google Play. Apple. And it'll also, if you check the box and you've set the page size and all that kind of stuff, it will create a PDF for you. Now, you still have to, of course, get your book covers, whether it's an ebook cover or a paperback hardcover book. You have to get that image from somewhere, and KDP, which is Amazon, has templates to help you do that, or to send to somebody and say, this is how thick my book is. I need some pictures and some words to make a cover for the book. So now we got all those files. What's the next step? Well, we got to take all those and upload them somewhere. And the process of doing that is what I'm going to call, in the last one here, distribute. You put your book out into the world. It's somewhere where people can get at it, buy it, get it for free, whatever you decide. And that's usually KDP, which is Amazon again. Or it could be a place like Draft to Digital, which puts it out to lots of places for you. Like you put it there once, and they'll put it on Apple, Kobo, Google Play, I think. Other places. There's lots of places to put books nowadays. So that's the bird's eye view of what goes on. I can't help you with the first panel there on the left, talking about writing. That's just the struggle. But there's no reason after you get your .x file ready, your writing's done, your manuscript's done, that you just have to struggle as much as people used to. Just get yourself Vellum. I believe you can even run Vellum in the cloud. If you have a PC, you can get Mac in the cloud, I think it's called, and it has Vellum installed. You still need a license to do the generate part. That's the part where you would have had to pay some money or give your .vellum file to someone who has paid the money, like maybe on Fiverr or something, and they would do the generate for you and give you back the EPUBs and the PDF. Okay, so that's a little longer than I wanted it to be, but there it is. So let's go on to my little example. You could stop at this point if you wanted, because there's not much going to go on after this other than a demo. And pretty much everything in this little Google Docs I have here is everything I just said. So, and I will put a link to this so you can get at it. But the important part here is this last bit, which I'm about to do, where we're gonna turn this Google Doc into something generated through Vellum that we could publish somewhere and distribute. But I'm not sure anybody would want this, but we can do it, and I'll go through this. What's important to note at this point is you see chapter headings, even though they're not really big chapters. But the pattern to notice is that there's a blank line, then there's the word chapter, a space, some number, 1 through whatever, a colon, a space, and then a name, even though I think the name is optional. And we'll see it again right here on this line. Above this line, there is a blank line. There's the line itself with chapter 2, colon, space, some name. After that is a blank line. And that helps Vellum, when you import this into Vellum, it will pick out the chapters and set everything up for you. So let's leave this kind of hanging out here at the bottom and maybe scooch it over out of the way some, so we're not having to look at all of it all the time. Hopefully that's visible enough, because we're after this part down here. That's what we're going to go through. We're going to do 7 steps from something that you've written, a manuscript that you wrote in Google Docs or in Word, and we're going to make it so you can distribute it to KDP or someplace. So this all starts with the writing. That's up to you. Step 1 could go on for years or longer. So now we're going to, since I'm in Google Docs, it does not save or download things by default as Word. If you're in Word, well, you're good to go. What you save is going to be a .x, a docx file. I'll just say it that way. So I go up here, I click on File. There we go. I guess I got to move it around. Then you go to Download, and then I'm going to click on Microsoft Word. You see the .docx at the end. Let's click on that. And it's going to ask me where I want to put it. In my case, it may not ask that for you, because maybe you already have this as a default. I see I already have one, but that's fine. We'll use this one. And we'll save that. And it comes up and happens pretty fast, because this isn't very large, right? So now we're going to leave this up here, and I'm going to try to bring in, we're going to do step 3 here. We're going to fire up Vellum. So let's bring that up and see if I can get this on the screen over here so we can all see it together. No, I can't. So give me a second, and I will make this entire screen, I think is what I'm looking for. Yep, there we go. So now we got that solved. And as you can see, I'm currently on Vellum 3.4.4, which probably doesn't matter. This process is going to stay the same for a while to come. But the part we're interested in is right here where it says import Word file ... So you're going to click on that. And then you got to, start doing that hunt around everywhere. Where'd you put that file? It's in downloads, which is probably where it will be for you. And you can tell that's it because it's got the name of your document and it's got .docx at the end. So we're going to import that and watch what happens. Almost instantly, of course, this is very tiny, but almost instantly we have the start of a book formatted to go. So there's just a few things. Look at the chapters. They match up with what's over there that we saw earlier, where you have a blank line, you have a chapter name, a number, a colon, a name, and it turns it into this. This is what we're working through right here. In fact, now we're on step 4. And let's go up here. And hopefully this is showing up. It's a little hard to see. Give me a second to look. Yeah, it's showing up okay. I can probably make it a bit bigger for you to see. Okay, without covering that up too much. Okay, what are we missing? Now it says here that you should start to pick a style and start doing that kind of stuff. So let's say we wanted, most likely when you bring yours in, it'll pick this default of Meridian. It's like a popular, it has a little star on it. But let's say we don't want that. We want Kindred. Not sure why, but that's what we want because it has a little drop caps over here. So that looks cool. Now let's go back to this. Now in this middle pane here, this is where you could do some editing, but for the most part, you don't have to do much of anything. The style we just selected dictates the fonts going on and how the headings and footers look on every page. And you can work your way through all that very slowly, but you can get through that, or you can just go with the default, which makes a pretty good book. So up here, we would give this a title. This is like front matter title, vellum. Let's see, vellum overview. And then, your name, blah, blah, blah. And here's where you would upload a book cover if you had one. We'll skip all that because we don't want all these details. We just want to be able to, let's change my name to my channel name. Yeah, that's better. Okay, so now we got front matter, and there might be some back matter after all your chapters down here. You might have something, I don't know, about the author kind of thing. But that's the title page. It's going to, for us, in the ebook, automatically do the chapters. We don't have to do table of contents. And of course, there's some options. You can look at it as a Kindle. This third panel over here is how it will look, most likely, in someone's tablet or Kindle or whatever, their phone, whatever they use to read with, a Kindle app or one of these other apps. An iPad, it looks a little different. But none of these, you as an author and writer and distributor here, publisher, has any control over whatsoever. All you can do is, if you're going to do a paperback or a hardcover, you got to pay attention to this stuff. This is where you get everything the way you want it. You get the size of the book you want. You get where the page numbers are, where your name is within the book. Like slip the traps on the left-hand side. And if I had more pages for each chapter, you would see that on the right-hand side would be the title of the book. But, I don't have a real book here. I just have a lot of bullet points. So what we're going to do now, let's pretend we love this book. We're all done with it. We've had enough of this. We're going to go up here, and here's the magic part for distributing. And the part that you do have to pay for if you use Vellum, we have to generate. But first, let's just give it a quick name so we can find it. I'll just use my initials. So now we just gave it a name up there, cls.vellum. So now we know, and we kind of know where that is because the drop down says, it's going to be in a download folder, which is fine for this demo. You'd probably want to create a folder with all your stuff packaged up nicely together. So let's click the generate. And this generate is for print only. I do not want that. I want a Kindle, and I want that. And I want to continue, but I do not want to put it in that folder because I already have a book there. I want to put it just in downloads. That's fine. So we choose that. So now we're telling it to generate a Kindle and a print, which is basically EPUB and a PDF. And you'll see how this goes here in a second. So I'm going to click generate. And for something this small, it happens very fast, right? So now we're going to go what I guess is called proofing, where we go and look at both of these things and see if they're okay. So we do show files. And underneath the folder that we selected, downloads in this case, there will be a Kindle folder. Inside the Kindle folder will be an EPUB. There's also usually an image like a JPEG, which is what you would have put in the book. We didn't do that, but that's where it would be. So let's focus on, since there's not a lot we can do with the EPUB, it's doing everything that Amazon and KDP require, so that's good to go. Let's try to check out this PDF file, see what we got. You probably, when you go to view it, you're going to want to be on 2 pages, so it will look and be laid out like a book. So there's our title page. We didn't add copyright. That's something that you would add as a part of your front matter. And there you go. You see the left-hand side here. That's the back of that page. And this is the right-hand side for whatever these are called. Leaflets, can't remember. But that's our book. All done, and amazing to me. It kept some of the highlighting and lists that I created as bullet points for this. I see some things are a little off that I would change for the book if this were a book. Now, here's a page where it says 2 and 3, but I don't see the book title. That would be something that I should have selected, but it may not be showing it because this is actually chapter 2 right here, the flow of creating a book. And again, it doesn't happen because this is chapter 3, this document into vellum. And now you can see that flow from docx, in my case from Google Docs, into vellum gave us this book. This PDF is ready to be uploaded. You are, of course, got another step where you need to get a template from somewhere and make yourself or have somebody do the book cover. And then you got a book that you can distribute and people can print on demand. It's that easy now. So let's go back to, did we finish all these steps? I won't show you what's involved with distributing because that's just an upload. And each site you go to do it on has its own host of hoops that you have to jump through. But I won't go through all of that. KDP is pretty straightforward and kind of common. Everybody's done it or is doing it. Draft to digital is a bit more streamlined, I think. And there are others that's pretty nice. I thought Kobo, the Canadian equivalent of Kindle, is very nice. But that's the steps we just went through. Let's go back to our big overview here. And that's what we did. We did some writing. We had a docx file. We imported that into vellum. Vellum did very little work, but made up some chapters. If you follow some simple rules, you can pick your styling. You can save that as a vellum file, give it to somebody, or do it yourself. Pay $250, and you can do an EPUBs, and you do the PDF. Then you upload those to somewhere, which is the equivalent of distributing a book. Then you run around marketing and promoting and all that stuff if that's what you want to do. So that's it. And that's all there is to it. The hard part is right over here on the left. That's why his head is green, his hands are green. So with that, I will say enjoy and good luck with your next book.